Hi, good evening. I was hoping very much to talk about Thanksgiving and my own direct family connection to Thanksgiving. I was hoping to talk about politics and the election, but all of that is going to have to wait because, of course, we have COVID and it is continuing to ratchet up. And I have to express my frustration at this stage. So, what you're going to hear from me tonight might be a little bit different. I'm having a lot of trouble understanding what is going on in this culture and why 50 million Americans traveled on Thanksgiving. I'm really at a loss. It doesn't take a genius to understand this stuff. You don't have to be working with Elon Musk. You don't have to be lingering about the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena. I don't know what the problem is at this stage. And I see Americans acting, it's not only that they're not grounded in science, but they seem to not be grounded in rationality, and it's all about their instant gratification, which is the way children behave. And it's a nice thing, but it doesn't fit with human reality as one develops and matures. And this isn't simply a case of 50 million Americans, which is about 1 out of every 5.5 Americans traveling for Thanksgiving. If it was simply unto yourself and you're taking all the risks, fair enough. It would be like driving drunk at 4 in the morning with nobody on the road in the middle of nowhere, and if you smash into something, you're affected and that's it, okay? This is absolutely ludicrous, and I don't understand this. People can't make sacrifices. They can't wait until the spring. We know the vaccines are coming. We've got 3 that are 90 plus efficacy. You could have in human history, you couldn't have scientists bail out the world populace the way these scientists are going to bail us out. And you have people who can't wait. They have to congregate. They have to hang out. And many of these people are young. And they're actually, most of the transmission now is from youth. And that's going to get passed on. And there are going to be a lot of unnecessary hospitalizations in hospitals that are already overburdened all over the place, all over the country. Total saturation point. There are going to be lots of unnecessary deaths. There are already going to be a lot of deaths simply because of the way this is developed over these months. But now we're going to go into a much higher track. What are people's problems? There have been times in my life where I've been ashamed, maybe not overall ashamed to be American because of some of the other ideas in America and the way people behave, but I'm actually at a loss. I don't understand the way people are thinking. If you want to connect to reality, look at what's going on in the rest of the world. Walk away from American media, and I mean all of it, right wing, left wing, all of it. Just wash it aside and start paying attention to what's going on everywhere else. For people who don't think this virus is real, do you believe that influenza is real? You've probably experienced influenza in your life. Is that not real? Why is this happening? COVID is very similar to influenza, the mode of transmission, as I've explained. But it is even more contagious because of the droplets lingering. In an average year in the United States, we have 50 million influenza infections. What on earth do you think is going to happen with COVID, which is even more contagious? Why can't people give up things? Our ancestors have been through wars, have been through incredible privation, have been through existential stuff. Nobody needs to go home. I'm terribly sorry, and maybe it sounds callous, okay? But I don't know what is going on in this culture. I know that part of it is this ideology where there are people who think they found the Messiah, and they're playing this very, very dangerous game of Simon Says, okay? And we're dealing with a situation where the emperor wears no clothes, okay? Everybody can figure out, but it's even beyond that. And mind you, it's not just the 73 million who voted for Pino. It's also libertarians who go even further and certainly will not wear masks and aren't interested. And remember, I looked around the country and you had about 1% of the electorate voting libertarian. It is not to be dismissed. Maybe it's low compared to the last few elections, but that's a significant number of people, and many of them have this ideology. We're the absolute exceptions in the world. We've politicized this. No one else has done this. And if we are not unified, we will crush ourselves. If this goes wrong, you watch what happens, not just up to New Year and into the first couple of months of the new year, but if we don't do the vaccines, and by the way, if things go as they're if it continues on, if I extrapolate, we're going to have tens and tens of millions of people who aren't going to get vaccinated. At least we'll be in a situation where the people who do will be protected from those who don't. Right now, we have people walking around selfishly putting other people at risk. And I don't know why other Americans aren't more angry about this, because it is a lot like driving around with no lights on or driving around drunk. The analogy, that is not hyperbole. They're now up this week to 60% of the transmission is asymptomatic transmission. What in the heck are people thinking? Or are they thinking at all? Are they capable of thinking? And can they stop doing this instant gratification, please? Or it is at our peril on many levels. COVID is just a test. It's a national security issue on different levels. We have adversaries who are unified and who are tough. The people are tough. All of them are tough, not certain segments of the population. Wake up. And yeah, you're hearing my frustration at this stage. And it's going to be heartbreaking to watch what occurs between now and New Year's, as I've already said, and then even after that. But it can still go on different tracks. It's going to be really bad no matter what, because of the last 8 months of how we've dealt with this. And by the way, everybody, influenza hasn't kicked in yet. It could kick in tomorrow. It's in a few states, a little bit. We know it's coming. It's here every year in the Northern Hemisphere. And during our summer in the Southern Hemisphere, it's like clockwork. And believe me, we're going to get it. People can get co-infections or get one and be more susceptible to the other. And good luck to us. And I'm terribly sorry if it sounds negative. Sometimes things are really negative, and people have to confront reality and act and make sacrifices. All the best, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and God bless. And hope for the best, expect the worst, and act.